Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? It is, what is it? Thursday, September 3rd. And this is, of course, your daily financial news. And first and foremost, it's Thursday, which means, of course, continuing the trend of the last, 20 weeks. We talk about new unemployment claims and the continuing claims. I would say that this morning they came in better than expected. They are back below a million, which frankly is really good news in my opinion. Again, the new claims, the weekly claims, it gets adjustment and it has all of these fluctuations in how they compound the number. So there's already people out there talking about it's not as good as it looks. As I've told you, kind of every week that happens. So we take the number, the trend, all of those things. So those are the things that we look for just to see where we are headed. And again, below a million, shoot, below 900K is a good thing. The number that I track with more rigor is the continuing claims. And continuing claims continues to improve. Oh, how about that? Continuing claims continue to improve. That just sounds funny in my head. But it's also good news, right? Down to 13.2 million continuing claims. This is good news. Frankly, this is the piece of data that is keeping the Congress apart. I truly believe if these new claims, say, spiked to 2.1, 2.3, continuing claims went from 13 to 18 to 20, a new stimulus plan or a new stimulus check, bill, whatever, would be done in a snap. Right now, what we are seeing is the economy is improving. It may not be improving as much as we like, but it is improving. And that is allowing some of the budget hawks, some of the folks that are, maybe, I don't know, let's just call them budget hawks, from digging in their heels. I still find it remarkably frustrating that the talk from Mnuchin from last week about putting out a bill on, the things that everyone agrees for is not been done. I thought that was a nice strategic move. It would have forced the hands of the other side, and we would know what people are looking at. So I think that's an opportunity missed. I hope Mnuchin does that still. I would love to see a bill for, call it, 650 billion that it tackles unemployment claims through the end of the year, a boost, right, of something, 300, 400, shoot, at this point, 600. Testing, and help for schools. I think schools need help, maybe some help for hospitals, and things of those things are interesting. Those are the things that I would like to see a bill from. Again, I would have liked to see it this week. Congress comes back next week, so we will see what happens. It is interesting. I'm really glad that I started talking about Tesla being out of this world priced last week. Looks like good timing is happening. Sometimes you get lucky, and last time I checked, Tesla was down 17% from its peak just on, I think it was Monday. So again, things don't only go up, right? Stocks don't only go up. They will eventually have their time to be reevaluated. And what we're seeing is yet to be determined, but it could be the long talked about rotation from growth, think tech, to value. Could be. We could be seeing something that has been called the Minsky moment. That is something that was named after an economist, Minsky, that talks about assets, stocks and other things, collapsing after an unsustainable run. And if that is true, the Minsky moment talks about a collapse of 20 to 30% in a sudden fashion, and wouldn't be shocked if retesting the March lows. And then, of course, we could have the W, market, right? We had the V, we had the first half. Now we could be on the cusp of seeing that go down. So lots of things going on. Is it a simple rotation, which will kind of be orderly? Do we, or do we have something that is far greater than that? And, it certainly seems like the Robinhood traders took it the last mile, if you will, right? Sort of blew the top off. Irrational exuberance. I go back to Greenspan. And now I'm afraid that the machines on Wall Street are taking over. And if that happens, it won't be so orderly and people are about to get hurt. This is very similar to what I experienced in the 2000s. It felt good for a while and then it didn't. I am going to try to relive my trading, which has really caused me to stay away from stocks, except for a little bit during the crash back in 07, 08. But this is, I'm just going to put why I'm so burned, why I have scars. There was a suggestion a day or two ago about, hey, why don't you tell us what you experienced and why you're so gun shy with stock. So I think I need to do that. I thought that was a good idea. So I will do that. What else we have going on? IPOs this year have been historically good, up an average of 60%. I say that because I see some big IPOs coming, and we're going to see if we continue to have appetite for IPOs. Airbnb being the biggest one that I can see coming out there. Pfizer is kind of in the lead with phase C trials. We are seemingly, come hell or high water, we're going to have at least one option for a vaccine. So it will be interesting. They have 23,000 people of their goal of 30,000 folks in phase 3 trials. They will have results in October. That's fast. And the CDC put out a note the other day that governors need to be ready for vaccines distribution on November 1st. This is something that I saw, and I'm trying to put the pieces together. So if you follow this channel, the CDC came out of nowhere to stall evictions, assuming people could prove it. And what we see, until December 31st, and now like a day or two later, we see the CDC saying, get ready for vaccines November 1st. So when I'm looking at those two dates, right, vaccines distribution November 1st, eviction stop 12/31, and I go, maybe this is going to finally be over for landlords January 1st. Because what will happen now, assuming, right, you get vaccines out on November 1st, people who want it, take it, people who don't. And then we get to the end of December and, the government goes, okay, eviction moratorium's out. If you want a vaccine, get it. If you, now it's your call, right? Go be you, Mr. and Mrs. American, right? Freedom of choice, all of that. So it will be interesting. It will be interesting to see if evictions moratoriums stop on the 1st of January, because as a landlord, it's getting annoying that every month it gets extended. And frankly, if it goes to 12/31, that's almost a full year. It's annoying. It's frustrating. It's gonna really hurt mom and pop investors. But I just want to know when it's over. And I'm starting to feel as of this morning, like, January 1st might be finally when the government gets out of the way and stops interfering with contracts and abusing our U.S. Constitution. So I don't know. I'm going to call that good news. It's the first time I have felt that there may actually be an end date to this craziness. This has been a rough time to be a landlord, but the worst time was 2006 and 7. This is still not as bad as 2006 and 7. Again, the jobs report, I wrote this down again. The jobs report is what is keeping us from having a stimulus deal passed because the numbers are improving. Another thing we're seeing is New York and California, the state governments are really in trouble. I saw yesterday that New York is on the cusp of potentially 22,000 furloughs. California will be very close to that number potentially as well. That is why Nancy is digging in her heels for the $900 billion bailout for states, because there will be cuts in service, there will be furloughs or simply job cuts, and yeah, there's a few states that are clearly going to be losers. I'm convinced that this recovery has accelerated the K-shaped recovery. Jeffrey, Ultimate Bargains, if you're watching this, is the gentleman who introduced the K-shaped recovery to this channel. Gosh, 90 days ago, 4 months ago. And I think it's dead on right. And what that means is there's going to be some wild winners, big winners, and some big losers, kind of nobody in the middle. Think this side of the K, right? Just up or down. All right, there is no middle. And I think New York and California are on the losing side, where Texas and Florida are on the winning side, for example. Arizona winning. Nevada, that's an interesting one. Nevada will be interesting. Does it win or lose? I think there might be enough people coming from California that it wins. Because again, if we have vaccines November 1, Nevada could be back, casinos could be back to themselves February, March. We all want to know when the end is, and we are closer to normal. So it could be coming. Manhattan contracts again fell, 31% in August. Not quite as bad as July, which was down 57. The high end is taking the biggest hit. Again, the mobile are leaving. This is happening in New York and California. We've been talking about it. Now the news media is picking up. The mobile are leaving. New York City, 4 million above. Condos down 44%. The Hamptons doubled, right? What does that tell you? So it is going to be interesting. Robinhood getting look like it's going to get an SEC violation and pay a fine of 10 million bucks or more. Lots of you out there think Robinhood is this, $0 trading platform and look at it as this almighty kind of on your side. Trust me, they're not. They're selling their order flow to the big New York firms, and they will eat your lunch once they understand what is going on, and they won't be nice about it. They will take every penny of yours that they can. And then finally, just what I think is going to be part of the great rotation, we are seeing companies like Campbell Soup come out and report a record quarter. Never had kind of demand before. But their CEO comes out and says, don't expect this going forward. We expect the health crisis to improve and the pantry stocking of Campbell Soup to decline. And they said the second half could be worse than expected because once you put soup in the fridge, or in the fridge, that's not what I meant, in the cupboard, you will not do it again, right? Once there's soup in there and you've got 12 of them, you don't need 12 more. So Campbell Soup is doing that. And again, that's happening in lots of places, right? I'm thinking Dell computers and HP computers and Best Buy, right? Once you stock up on the computers for your kids, you don't really need them. And that will really impact demand for years to come. So there is a lot of demand being pulled forward that will suck the oxygen from the second half. And I don't think people are seeing that. So at the end of the day, that is your daily financial news. Remember, this is investing, money, real estate, cost of capital, all of those good stuff. Got to shut this down because we got to get ready to interview Jonathan Twanley here in just a minute or so. Take care, everyone. Bye.